G'day and welcome to the Hunting Connection podcast. My name is Zach Williams and I am your host. Here we'll connect you with hunters, fishers and outdoor enthusiasts from around the globe. This podcast will share hunting and fishing stories including past experiences and tackle the tough hunting stereotypes our community faces. We hope to be a positive influence to those outside the community while also having a laugh along the way. Hope you enjoy the podcast. G'day and welcome to another episode of Hunting Connection podcast. On today's episode, I've got my good friend Izzy Sesto. How you going?
Hey Zach, I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good, thank you. Understand
it's been so long.
It has. I understand you're out on the boat at the moment. How's your day been?
It's been great. We're just trying to collect some bait. It's snapper season's in full swing here, so some days we've got to just dedicate it for bait collecting. So that's what we're doing today.
I've seen that you just posted a few squid up on your story. Then are you? Any of them making it to the plate, or is that all 100% bait?
It's snapper season. Nothing, no squid goes in onto the plate. So we're just flipping off whiting and snapper at the moment, but every squid is bait at the moment, unfortunately. I know people don't want to hear that, but it is.
That's rough.
I know.
So we'll jump straight into it. Where are you from, Izzy?
I'm from Melbourne, Victoria.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, I've kind of travelled everywhere because I used to work with horses. So I used to live up at Mansfield and Seymour and all those places. But yeah, I'm back down here closer to the water, so it suits me.
Beautiful. What do you do for work these days?
I'm a conveyancer. A bunch of people think I don't work. I do. I run one of Dad's conveyancing firms, but I'm just very lucky because I can do a lot of it. Bring the laptop on the water or whatever and take calls, so it's very handy for me, to be honest.
That sounds like the dream. Yeah,
it's living.
It definitely doesn't seem like you're working half the time. That's for
I know.
Sure.
Everyone's like, "You have a job?" Well, I actually do, but I'm just lucky. I use my time very wisely.
Yeah, whether it's you're posting photos up with some big snapper or half-eaten shark tuna.
I know. My God, it never ends. It's so funny.
How did you get into hunting and fishing? You spend more days fishing these days than hunting, but back when I used to hang out with you, you were way more into hunting.
Yeah, well, I think it was, so obviously I grew up in Melbourne, in the city, in Hawthorne, and I went to a private girls' school, so you would never picked up from me that I turned out this way. And I went, straight after school, I went to an agricultural college in Geelong. And that's where I just mixed with all the farmers and all that kind of stuff. And they were into hunting and shooting and fishing. And my job straight after college was in Mansfield. So obviously Mansfield's one of the most beautiful areas, especially for hunting. So as I did not know anyone up there, I went to the pub and made friends, and it looked like everyone was just into hunting there. So I made a lot of friends that were into it, but I taught a lot of it myself because once when I'm into something, I just give it 100%. So you'll just see me doing it every bloody day, every morning, every afternoon. Yeah, I just don't stop. Met some really amazing friends that taught me so much. And then I got to blame you for my fishing because I remember coming up there, I think for a hunt, and then I was like, I really want to start fishing, and you and I had the funniest time. I think I was hooking myself. I could not even catch a fish back then. I'm like, Zach, I don't care what it is. If it's a redfin, whatever, I need to catch a fish. And I remember hooking myself in the head or something. But yeah, you're half to blame, I'm going to say.
I'll take it. Yeah. I remember hitting my trusty redfin streams and coming up empty-handed.
And I remember you just shaking your head what are you doing? So that was good times. But I think it's just more when you live in Melbourne, obviously hunting is just so far away. And then we're just so lucky to live so close to the water. So it's just more accessible. After work, you can just drive 15 minutes and you're on the water. So I think that's where I kind of changed into fishing. And I just love being on the water. I'm just I'm not really a land person anymore.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I think that's where it all started.
Awesome. What was the fish that got you hooked on fishing? No pun intended.
Oh, honestly, like I love fishing. Like I started off with trout, but I wasn't really like. I was like, oh, this is a nice like thing to do like between hunts. But I dare say, definitely snapper. I would say catching my first snapper, I was just like, okay, yeah, this saltwater stuff. I'm not looking back. This is me now. But I'd definitely say snapper and shark. Any breed of species of shark.
You definitely smashed the gummy sharks, that's for sure.
Yeah, my favourite's makos. They're probably my favourite. A lot of big school sharks are coming into our bays now to breed, so they're absolutely everywhere now. When you're going to snapper in Western Port, you're like probably 50% of the time you're getting bitten off by big schoolies. But yeah, I just love it down here. It's just, our water is just unreal. The fish is so good.
It definitely looks good, and seeing all the snapper that you get onto, being from South Australia, definitely makes me upset.
Oh, no, that would hurt. That would hurt. I know it's just so bad. I hope that's not coming our way, but it is, yeah, I feel so bad for you guys because I know, like, South Australia was like, God, the place to go for snapper. You guys get the biggest snapper of all. Hopefully that all passes. That breaks my heart.
Yeah, hopefully one time soon. I know the southeast where you hit up down that
where I go,
you can still catch a couple, but
I think it's like two per boat or something. It's still very small limit, but at least they can catch them, I guess. But I hope it opens up for the rest of South Australia because that's horrible.
That's it. I only go out in the kayak anyway. I don't go out in a boat, so I'm not hitting up snapper water.
That's fair enough. Especially there, it's like sharks everywhere in South Oz.
Oh, there is. There's been some stories getting around lately.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Some lady was attacked. One of the popular jetties bitten on the face by a shark.
Yeah, I saw that. Like this month has been about 4 in South Australia with like juvenile great whites. It's crazy.
Absolutely mental.
So,
normally I'll run through gear on this part, but I thought I'd skip that, the more technical stuff. I know you get a little bit flustered with that. What would be your top beginner tip for someone getting into hunting and fishing?
I dare say as much like spending as much time as you can is obviously the best way to learn. Making good friends, trustworthy friends, of course, and people that are willing to like teach you. But honestly, like this is like probably the main question I get asked. It's like, how do you know where to go and how do you like succeed a lot? And it's just more the fact I am on the water so often. So the more time you obviously spend doing that activity, hunting or fishing, whatever it is, the more you're going to learn.
Yeah, that's it. And as a woman getting into hunting and fishing, what barriers have you kind of met and overcome getting into it?
I think the main one is just people. Like it takes a long time for people to respect you and like kind of classify you as a serious angler and hunter, I guess. It's just like I feel like you've like it took years for people to gain that respect. Oh shit, she actually knows what she's doing. Yeah. Instead of just like, oh, she only catches fish because she fishes with this person or this person or hunts with this person or this person. But I think when they start seeing you just like constantly succeeding, even if when you're alone or like whatever, it's just more just gaining that respect, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. And what advice would you give to a young woman getting into hunting and fishing?
Just you can't like dwell on the negative comments. I think remember you and I back then were like fully targeted by the greenies. Now, honestly, I'm not going to like sit here and lie. That turned me off hunting because I had like quite like a big following back then when it came to hunting, and I had like a public page, whatever it was, and it just got absolutely swarmed by like greenies from overseas. But they started like sending me family death messages and like threatening to kill my family and me. They got my dad's work number and was calling the work office, and that like just freaked. Like I had to like just deal with it. Obviously, there's nothing you can do, but it was just more the fact that it was so intense and just the those people I just couldn't be bothered with it anymore. It just started like when you post a photo, you'd have like 10% hunters commenting on it, and then the rest were just greenies, like threatening to kill you. So I was just like, I had to delete my account just to get away from it all. And honestly, though, I think like coming to the fishing industry, that gave me such thick skin because I went through all of that. And now I just laugh at it. Like it's horrible. Everyone's going to cop it. Unfortunately, that's just today's society. But you just got to like ignore those negative comments and just push forward. And at the end of the day, if what you're doing is making you happy, that's all that matters. And just ignore all the haters, I guess.
Oh man, that was a funny time.
I think it happened to you too. Yeah. It was the same account.
I blame you for getting on their radar.
Oh, no worries. No worries. It was like 40,000 people signed a petition for us to stop fox shooting in England or something. I'm like, I'm from Australia. They're a pest. Like, do your research. Like, this horrible man and woman just kills these innocent foxes. And I was just like, oh, my goodness.
From memory, the page was empty cages worldwide.
That's it. That's the one. And I think you were like bow hunting, I think feral cats or something.
Yeah.
I think that's what you were on it for. And I was on it for the foxes. And I was just like, what? And then a lot of other Aussie hunters got on it too, and then it was just, that was wild. That was absolutely wild.
From memory, the three main hunters on that got targeted on there were you, Jason Spencer from Hunt Catch Cook for shooting a donkey, and me for shooting the cats. I think it started off with me shooting foxes after you got attacked, and then after I went and shot a bunch of feral cats, then that's when the battle took off.
That was absolutely it. I remember that was wild. That was absolutely wild.
The wild times of the Australian hunting industry. Hate for shooting.
God. It was absolutely. At the end of the day, all you could do was laugh. It was like, these guys are absolute idiots.
Oh, I just remember the group chat that we had going at the time, sending all the screenshots of all the hate that we were getting, and just absolutely laughing and just posting them up on Facebook for an absolute laugh. And then also,
and that just brings me back to like, you just need good mates in that industry, because like if you were like alone copying all of that, you probably could be, being young, could freak out a bit. But I had such a good circle. I think it was you, Kimmy, and Jono, and we were just like pissing ourselves. We're just like, look at these idiots having a good laugh.
It was a very, very funny time, and then it blew up pretty quick. And then all the love from the Indian guys.
Farad, I had this beautiful stalker. Shout out to Farad. He remember that guy who's like, Izzy Sesto. I love you. I come to Australia to meet you and stuff, and was sending me like passport photos and photos of his mum.
Every photo you posted, he would comment.
Do you remember the pig, like the slaughtered the pig guy as well? There was a guy that was commenting all my photos like, I want to be your wedding pig. No. Did you ever see that guy? Oh, he's still around. But he commented for the last 7 years of my photos. Was like, and I would block him, and then a new one, same guy, tears. He would just, oh God, you get some creeps, but you got to just have a laugh and delete them, I guess.
That's hilarious.
Oh God.
So, what would be your top 5 items for someone getting into hunting, and then also top 5 items for someone getting into fishing?
For hunting, obviously a reliable gun, a good gun. I stuffed up my first gun. I got a 30-06, I think, and I was just like, I hadn't shot anything, and I just back then, shooting my first gun and being that powered, I actually started to flinch because I wasn't ready for that recoil.
Yeah, and
so. Just getting the right gun for you. I ended up getting a 308, and I don't know, I just, for some weird reason, like that so much better. But a good gun that is good for yourself. Gators, is that what you call them? Gators, the snake-proof ones?
Yeah.
I'm going to say number 1. A tracker, a good backpack that you can put everything in. and I always have like a snack and a water bottle no matter what, or a bladder, whatever. You just never know. Fishing, obviously, rod and reel. Your favourite jig, lure, or rig. Well, I can't say a boat because not everyone can buy a boat, but kayak boat. I'm not sure. That's hard. Yeah, not sure. That's a tricky one.
And over the fishing license is a good one. That's
yeah, obviously, definitely need a fishing license. Good bait. I never go. I know this sounds so silly, but whenever I'm on my boat, I never go absolutely anywhere without a wire trace because I'm obsessed with sharks and you just never know when a shark's going to come. So always have a wire trace. Beautiful. And like a D-hooker or something, and yeah.
So are you going out alone most of the time on the boat by yourself, or you always got someone out there helping you?
It's like it depends what I'm going for and who's available. I'll always, no matter what, have people wanting to come. So, but sometimes it's nice to be alone. But like definitely freshwater, I like to just like take my dog because that's my favourite and just have some alone time. But like you kind of don't ever get a day where no one's asking you to come with you. So I'm quite often with friends or my partner or Reedy, who's someone I fish with, I dare say, the most because he's probably more crazy than me when it comes to snapper. Is
he the fella that does all the rigs up?
Yeah, so Reedy's Rigs. Snapper season, if you're into snapper, bottom bashing, whatever, Reedy's Rigs. Just giving him a cheeky plug because he is the greatest human. Love him. And he's so sweet, but me and him are just stupidly crazy about snapper, so we kind of just, he's like, you free? I'm like, yeah. Are you free today? It's probably like 40 knots southwesterly and we'll go. Like, we're just silly.
Beautiful.
Absolutely stupid.
So,
yeah.
Are you more of a bait fisher or are you lure or whatever?
Look, it just depends what for, but I'd definitely say way more bait. But I absolutely love flicking lures. It just depends. If it's windy, you'll find me flicking lures because I'm bored. For estuary perch or trout, brim, whatever, really. But I'd say mainly bait because I'm just targeting like big snapper or sharks or anything like that. So yeah, bait's definitely key for me, I would say.
What about jigging? Do you do much jigging for snapper?
No, I'm not really I don't do much like lure fishing for snapper. I do like when they're going really hard, I'll use like soft plastic. But like jigging, nice jigs for kingfish, I'll definitely jig for kingies. Or like poppers. But yeah, with snapper it's usually just your dirty bait.
Beautiful. Give us a rundown on what happened on that shark fishing trip, that tuna fishing trip with the
oh
shark.
God, I can't get away from that bloody story, can I?
No,
that was wild. I went up to Cape Jaffa in South Australia, and I just wanted to get a barrel. So the local barrels down here were going really hard, but there's 300 bloody people going for them. So I was just like, called my friend who's a longliner down there, and he's like been seeing kilometres and kilometres of tuna while he's been out working. And he's just like, you just need to get up here, like now. And I'm like, far out. So anyway, just went. And he wanted to push out to like the 20-metre mark, like 20 Ks out, sorry. And I reckon not even halfway there was a heap of turns on the water and diving and like pecking off the water. And I'm just like, wait a minute, slow down. And he's like, no, let's like keep tracking. I'm like, nah, this looks like way too good a life. So we stopped. Honestly, I reckon we put our spread out, trolled for 5 minutes, and one rod just instantly buckled and it was just seeing off. And I'm like, in Melbourne, I don't think you understand. I have done hundreds of trips and I just have the worst luck. So for this to happen so quickly, I just kind of was more in shock. I was just like, what the hell? So yeah, I think it was like maybe like an hour and a half in, and finally it was just like fighting really low, and I got him up, and to be honest, like halfway through the fight, he's come up in a swell really high, and I saw it, so I knew the whole time it was a bluefin. But for some weird reason, at that moment, when he gave up and was ready to like bring in, he was up the surface and this big like shadows come over him, and obviously it was that big great white, and I'm like, my partner's like, you're on a effing shark. And I'm like, and obviously in just like shock, I thought I was. And they're like, oh, no, you're still on. So I'm like whining as hard as I can to get to the boat before he fully takes it. And as we've gotten the gaff in, just grabbed the tail, ripped it off. And then obviously because tuna bleeds so much, that just like put him in a frenzy. And he was just swimming around the boat, grabbing the motors. Like, we were like just in shock. It was pretty bloody cool to see, to be honest. And yeah, it was absolutely wild. But I reckon like because the blood was just pumping through the water, he was just trying to look for food, obviously, and we let him be and tried to find some more tuna. But yeah, it was awesome. Pretty cool experience.
It looked pretty cool, and man, I was laughing at some of those comments in some of the videos.
I got in trouble for calling it a jerk. Like, people were commenting like, how dare she call it a jerk? I'm like, mate, if you felt the way I felt, it's my first tuna. I've been targeting these bloody things for how many years, and it gets taxed. Because I was just more worried, like, if it ate enough for it to be under 100 kilos in my mind, I'd be like, I still haven't caught a barrel, so I would go crazy. So I was just like, you freaking jerk. And then people were like hating on me for saying that, but who cares? It was a jerk.
Some of the comments were hilarious. Like maybe if they weren't out there catching all the fish, look at the shark. Yeah. Look at the shark. It's so hungry.
It looks unwell. Like, it looks like the best like conditioned stuff. What are you on about?
I was laughing so hard. I'm like, man, Izzy can attract these people so well, no matter if she's hunting or fishing.
No matter what it is, I just must attract absolute bloody freaks.
And then scrolling through TikTok, and then next minute I'm hearing your voice all
everywhere.
Over.
It was everywhere. I'm just like, I can't get away. Well, like, props to like the news. They didn't turn it into something negative, which I was more expecting. They did lie at the start. They said we're in Port Phillip Bay. We're in South Australia. So I messaged that, I think it was like 7 or something. And I'm like, if you're going to like lie to grab attention, like I'm not about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was probably the only negative thing, just people spinning it. But otherwise, it was pretty cool.
What did the tuna end up weighing?
I think it was 102 from memory. Without the tail.
Without the tail, beautiful.
Yeah. So that was great. So I'm happy I still got a barrel.
Lucky you didn't take a bigger one.
I know, and it would have been under 100. I would have been like, oh my goodness.
99.8.
Yeah, I'd been heartbroken, absolutely shattered. Oh my god,
that's great.
Pretty funny. It was pretty cool.
Okay, so a bit of a silly question now. Zombie apocalypse weapon. What are you going?
Does it have to be a gun?
No, it could be whatever you want.
I was going to like gaff people with a sharp gaff. Or be different and say that. No, or a flying gaff. I don't know. Let's do something stupid like a gaff.
Yep, that's an interesting one.
Why not? Everyone would say some bloody high-powered rifle or something, but I'll say gaff.
They do.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll give you something different.
Beautiful. What have you forgotten on a hunting or fishing trip?
This is so... Oh, I feel guilty for saying this, but I forgot my dog at camp. It was... No, I swear to God. So, it was a disaster. So we were hunting up at Tatung or something, and I've packed up camp, and I was driving down, like, to the complete opposite side. Honestly, about 20 Ks down to start where we hunt. And I pulled up, and I just see this because she had like, it was winter, so she had like those like high vis like jumper on, and I look behind my car and I see this in the mirror, this bloody fluoro thing running towards me, and I'm like, get this is my dog. She followed my car 20 kilometers. Her pads were all stripped and bleeding, and she's collapsed into a puddle, and I just felt like the worst mother in the world. It never happened again. Do not report me to the RSPCA, but I forgot my dog. So there we go. There's one for history book.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Poor darling.
That's almost as bad as if you forgot a kid out.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it's practically leaving my child. Yeah, exactly. Unbelievable.
What would be the most important item you take out with you, whether it's whether out hunting or fishing?
Just like obviously your tracker, like when I'm hunting. Honestly, I'm gonna say just having like a good like a navionics on your like a sound in avionics or even at the app on your phone. I think that is very vital, especially where at Western Port there's this like so many sandbanks and all that kind of stuff. So just having that and knowing where you are, because it's as stupid as it is, you can like lose your sense of direction with hunting and fishing, like both. I've done it before with both, to be honest, especially at night time. So just having like a good mapping, like map or like get tracker or navionics, whatever it is.
Yeah, beautiful. What about sketchy, dangerous thing that's happened to you when you've been either out hunting or fishing?
I would dare say the worst one was I went for a solo hunt and I was walking around some dam in long grass and I stood on a tiger snake and I was wearing thick gum boots and it struck me just below the tip of my gum boot, and obviously because they're so thick, I was wearing like some real thick spike-a-mole bogs or whatever you call them, and it did not penetrate, thank goodness, but that would probably be up there with my scariest.
Nuts. I haven't ran into too many snakes when I've been out. I don't know if it's fortunate or just dumb luck.
I'd say it's luck, but I love snakes. Like, I'm not one that likes killing or anything, but I just think like when you're alone, you realize like I would have been stuffed. I was like I was very far away from anything, and I was completely by myself, no service or anything, and I was just so now I would like no matter where I go, like gators is like especially in the warmer months, just chuck them on. It could save your life.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely know Jono Roberts, so yeah.
Oh God, I wish. Man, he's crazy, but I love his work. His work.
He'll be on the podcast soon, hopefully. So that'll be a good laugh.
Say hi. He's the best.
He's got some great stories.
Oh shit, yeah. He's crazy. He's bloody crazy.
Another one that loves the media attention.
Oh yeah. Oh, God. He's so funny though. You'll have a ball with him.
Oh, definitely. What about the funniest thing that's happened to you while you've been out?
This year, that was pretty funny. I had everyone else in laughter beside myself. We went for Mulloway in the Yarra, which is, do you know what the Yarra is? Like the Yarra River in the city. Disgusting. Absolutely bloody disgusting. And I went to cast a rod, but I wanted to like move more to the left side. And there was grass over this bit. The grass wasn't on anything. It was just over a giant hole, like 2 meters deep. And I've casted and stepped into this hole and went fully underwater in the middle of winter. Like, everyone just cried of laughter. And just knowing, because it was the Yarra, I was just like dry reaching, just instantly felt sick. Like, everyone else loved it, but I didn't. But I dare say that was pretty hilarious for everyone to see.
Oh, it's a bugger the cameras weren't rolling then.
I know. And stupid me, as I said, in the middle of winter, because I'm so bloody stupid and dedicated, I just sat for like 10 hours in just wet, stinky, disgusting clothes. It was just stupid. It was so dumb. But yeah, that was pretty hilarious.
Did you at least get a Mulloway?
No. Definitely not. No, definitely not. Probably will never get one. But yeah, good for the lols.
You do a few trips down the southeast. You need to go hit up the Salt Creek and go
beach
fishing.
I haven't ever targeted them there. I know. Like, I'm quite literally in Mulloway town and I'm just don't ever target them because I'm too obsessed with everything else there. So, yeah, I definitely will. 100%.
Definitely. I've got lots of fond memories growing up fishing with my grandparents down there and chasing Mulloway and salmon over there. It's a beautiful, beautiful part of the area, that's for sure.
If I could move there, I would. Trust me, it's my favourite place in the world.
Oh, it's the amount of game there, and then you've got all the deer, and then the fishing, and
off its head,
crayfish, and everything. Yeah. It's amazing.
It's the dream, definitely.
What about top 5 dream animals if you could go hunt, money not being an issue, and then top 5 dream fish?
Could I just say top 5 like hunting and fishing ones because I only have 2 animals I would love, which is obviously a moose and an elk. They're probably the only 2 I'd ever go fly somewhere for. And an alligator guy in America. a thresher shark locally here. That would be off its head. And probably like a hammerhead off the beach, like a big hammerhead.
Yeah, beautiful.
That would be cool.
So like Western Australia or somewhere.
Oh, no, here we get them, like, once the water temp's down in that warm current, we will get them off the beach down here. So, yeah, that would be ideal. But, yeah, moose is number one hunting for me.
Yeah, that would be such a good trip. I'm actually surprised you haven't jumped the ditch and gone chasing
Well, I was supposed to. I had it all lined up before COVID. And quite literally, it was like 6 months prior, everyone got in lockdown.
Oh,
so I think it was going to Newfoundland. So yeah, it was heartbreaking. But I'll probably do it. I'll do it one day.
That's awesome. So you've done a bunch of different hunting. You've done deer stalking with a rifle. You've done a fair share of pig dogging as well. Hound hunting as well. What's some of the highlights and of those three? And
honestly, like, obviously pig hunting, just having my own dogs and just seeing them, like, work off each other. And my best friend, Em, she, like, just my dogs learnt off her dogs, and just seeing them as a team come together, that was, like, the best feeling in the world. So definitely just, like, my dogs in that situation, that was fun, and just having so many good memories with my best friend. With stalking, just, like, the places you go and just the challenge and all that kind of stuff. I love that. And hound hunting, just like that group environment. They're all so different, but they're all like it's awesome working with a team. Like, it's just fun. It's like a sport, and everyone's passionate about it, and I just love that part of that.
And what's your favorite out of those three?
Honestly, it would be pig hunting with my best friend and my dogs. I loved it. It's just so far away. It's just like 10, 12-hour trip, so it's so hard to do. And now, and my best friend has kids and all that kind of stuff, but I dare say pig hunting was my all-time favourite by far. Yeah,
you definitely got into it for a hot minute there. Yeah. I remember every spare minute you had, you were heading to New South chasing.
But it's just so far. It's so far away, and I feel so bad for my dogs. They're like, when are we going to go kill something? But like, you can't. I feel bad, but like, it's so far away. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get back into it once our kids are a bit older and they can come with us.
That's awesome. Yeah, I still haven't seen a pig in Oz yet.
Really?
A wild pig.
How?
Just not hunting the areas that have them, and
when I
go hunt the areas, they're all the ones I find are dead.
Oh my gosh! What are the chances? That's crazy, isn't it?
It's nuts, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to getting back over to Samba country, hopefully next year, and go chase some Samba. I did Snake Island this year chasing hog deer.
Did you go? That's awesome.
Yeah, I drew second period, so that was pretty good. And
that's so good. Did you get a good one?
Nice little stag, yeah. Yep.
Oh, so good! Congrats.
A little wonky donkey. He was pretty cool.
I rather the wonky ones. I love mongrel stags. They're my favourite. I honestly do. I'm the weird one that likes them over turkeys.
Oh, if I could get a nice handlebar Samba stag, I'd be over the moon.
Dream. Yeah. Look, they're so cool.
I'd almost prefer a big handlebar stag.
Agreed. I'm with you on that one.
Our mutual friend who used to go hunting with quite a bit, Chris Boone, he'd shot some cool. Oh yeah, cool different. His
property's unreal. Yeah, 100%. He's got a property that a lot of them have handlebars. It's so cool.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So what deer species have you taken? Is it just fallow and Samba?
Just Samba and I've just shot a red, but I missed a cracker stag. That was heartbreaking. I shot a massive 12-point local stag, and there was a blood trail for ages, and we just never found it. So that was heartbreaking.
That is heartbreaking.
But we hunt a lot of South Australia out there because our friend used to have a property for fallow.
Yep.
But the population there now is just dropping because of the helicopters. It's every year's getting harder, but we still manage to somehow get them. But Samba are my favourite by far, but probably just those two. Yeah, I've seen hog deer and stuff, but just never obviously properly gone for them at all. Never shot one, but that would be cool.
Do you put in for the hog deer ballad?
No, I don't. I don't know. They don't like really interest me, but they kind of do at the same time.
Oh, it's
yeah.
such an awesome trip, and especially being where you are, you could take your boat across, and when you're not hunting, you could be fishing as well.
Exactly. It'd be great. I should look into that. But yeah, that will be on my bucket list one day, I reckon.
So you cut your teeth on Samba, didn't you?
Yeah, I loved it so much, but I don't know. I just I went into this weird stage where I just want to take photos of them as well. So they're just so beautiful. Like they are. Just watching them. They're the most beautiful bloody species ever. But yeah, I'll probably do a lot more of that as well next year. I should probably give fishing a break for a bit.
Before you catch all the fish in Port Phillip Bay.
Yeah, I think no. Yeah, well, who knows how long we're going to be able to bloody hunt for, eh? So might as well make the most of it.
So what draws you to fishing more these days than hunting? What's been the main draw?
Just accessibility. Yep. I think there's a squid on that rod, so. Just accessibility. My friend's like running the deck right now because I'm doing nothing talking to you, so I'm just watching the rods while he's fishing. No, it'd definitely be accessibility and just being able to go like whenever and so close to home. I love the water, like just the marine life, the sunsets and all that kind of stuff, the sunrises, the people you meet. Like, I don't know. I think it's just being on the water. Honestly, I think that's it. I think it's just being on the water. It's like there's no dramas in the world when you're on here. Then you go back to land, you're like, oh shit, got to deal with this and this and this. Might as well just be a mermaid.
No, that's awesome. What about the food side of the fishing? You eat everything you catch, or you give it away?
We're wogs. We're wogs, so we have a giant family that just every day. Do you have any whiting? Do you have any snapper? Do you have any calamari? I'm like, yeah, I can give you whiting and stuff, but yeah, ain't touching my calamari. But yeah, like that's another thing. Like in snapper season, none of those snapper go to waste. You cannot like. Having such big families and all our friends, they're just like, you blink and people like come over for a beer and they're like, oh, can I have a snapper? I'm like, yeah, go for it. So none of it ever goes to waste. We bloody live off it. And I guess that's a great part because have you seen the bloody price of fish these days?
Oh, I don't even bother looking at
I feel it. I saw it I think someone said like Patterson Lake Market or something. Fillets of whiting were $150 a kilo.
Holy shit.
A kilo. So that's why everyone calls it out. Can I have some whiting? I'm like, oh my goodness. But yeah. That's definitely a massive positive, I guess. And
what would be some of your go-to meals that you're cooking out of them?
So with the calamari, my favourites, I always put them in milk, even if they're small. I know that's weird, but just making them so soft and tender. I love them. And then, sorry, just frog in my throat. Panko crumbs.
Yep.
Must. That's my ultimate favourite. Same with the whiting. But I made this like weird, it's not weird, but it was like this like orange and honey and there was something else with the snapper fillet and then fried it and that was like absolutely delicious. It came out real sweet. But we do a lot of charcoal grill. That's probably our main thing we do. Our mates always come over and then we'll chuck like, even just the calamari rings with just parsley and olive oil on the charcoal. Oh my goodness, it's unbelievable. But full snapper on the charcoal with all the sharks, we just batter them. But yeah,
so good.
Very yummy.
So good, my mouth's watering.
Now I'm hungry.
Have you
looking at that calamari?
Have you done many stuffed squid?
Bruno's, my partner's Bubba, which is grandmother, does it a lot, and it's absolutely delicious. But I just like always in a rush, so I just like do the quick, chop up the rings, eat the heads, and quickly batter them and fry them. But she stuffed it with like rice. What is it out there? Capsicum rice and like feta. Oh my goodness, it's off its head.
Yeah, I was playing around with some squid tubes a while back, and I got a bunch of rice and venison mince and Mexican spices, and then stuffed that in the squid tube and cooked it. Oh, that
would have been delicious.
It was so good.
We mince. I like my new phase I'm in is venison mince. Like we minced a heap, and I was just like I do always add like that little bit of pork just for extra fat when I make bolognese, but it was like the best bolognese I've ever made. I was like, holy crap. Now we're just like, every time we get a deer, we mince it.
Yeah, I don't add any extra fats to the venison when I
Yeah,
mince
like
it.
it's fine without it, but I just feel like every time I don't do it, they're like, what is this? And I'm like, so I just add that cheeky bit of fat. Otherwise, the boys all complain. But you don't need it, that's for sure.
Nah,
It's just
that's
delicious.
it.
It's so good, especially like even like the schnitzels. You get it like a little fellow. Oh my goodness. With the back straps and we just make schnitzels. That's so delicious. And my new thing is slow cooking, like making a ragu.
Yeah.
Oh my. That's definitely my favourite deer.
Beautiful.
Like,
Are you using front? What cut are you using for that? Like front shoulder?
It's usually like, yeah, like anything that we haven't like cut up to like, you know, for steaks or whatever, like even like a whole back leg, whatever it is, just whatever we got, just chuck in a whole clump of it and then make it slow cook and then rip it apart. Kind of like pulled pork, but it's pulled venison. And then make it into like, you can have it with like rice, potatoes or pasta, whatever you want to do. But, oh, it's so delicious.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
The slow cooker is a staple in my house. That's just
it's crazy. It's so good.
All the shanks, front shoulders, neck, just everything straight into the slow cooker. Curry
anything
sauces.
that you anything you still got left over that's got meat on the bone, you just chuck it in there and it'll all cook beautifully.
And the round. So I've been making bone broth out of the femurs.
Oh wow!
And all of that type of stuff, and then save that in the freezer for when I want to do like a pulled,
awesome.
A pulled venison roast. So I'll chuck that in there, and yeah, you get home, and then pulled venison. It's wicked for like tacos or.
Wow, that's smart. Need to do that.
It's so good. Even burgers
that's
are good
really
if
cool.
you do the pulled venison roast, and then you drain it all, and then you chuck some type of barbecue sauce in there and. Mix it all up.
My mouth watered. Oh my boat, bloody starving. Oh my god, yum. Oh yum.
We'll move away from food before you get too hungry and leave me. Start cooking up some of your bait on the boat.
Yeah, 100%.
What would be your best hunting story?
The one that always comes to mind is just my best friend and I were like pig hunting, obviously, and we were just driving around for hours and we were so tired. And Bandit was still like very young then, and he hadn't found the pig by himself yet. And his pup, like proper pup, like hadn't found his own pig either. And my pup just like pissed off by themselves. Like, what? That's not good. And we're in a paddock where there was sheep. So obviously your first instant, both being pups, we like freaked out. And then they pulled up. So we ran over and they were on a massive boar. And it gave me goosebumps. I just got goosebumps then because I remember I actually cried because I was just like, wow. Like, and then he was just, after that was just a bloody weapon. That was always comes to mind, my best hunting story. Or when my partner and I on the same day, I think mine went 28 and his went 27 on the same day. We shot 2 nice stags. That was awesome.
Awesome. Was that with hounds or was that?
Yeah, that was with the hounds. Yeah, with the hounds, but that was crazy.
I haven't actually chatted to many hounds hunters on the podcast yet. Give us a rundown on what goes into a hound hunt and how the clubs operate type thing.
It's, as I said, it's such a good group environment, but it's just like with the dogs and everything, and just the boys that, oh god, they put just so much time and effort in walking the dogs into the right areas, and just the voice of the dogs when they're close. Like it's something like I never thought I'd get into because they're obviously not my dogs. So I feel like it's like weird, but then it's just like, it really is something different. It truly is. It's, I don't know. I think also being in a group environment, it's so cool, and it's hard work and it's long hours, but it's unreal. The reward's crazy. Like, and just the places you go and the people you meet doing it, you all have the same passion. It's crazy. And just knowing those dogs, like how long they can bloody run for, they're so fit and endurance is out of control, and yeah, it's awesome. And it's honestly, you learn a lot doing it. Just knowing, like, learning whether deer always run and stuff, like, as much as it helps you in stalking, because you know what ways they're, like, tracking and where they find the deer and push them to you. But I know a lot of people that hate, like, that stalk don't like hound hunting. I'm telling you now, it's a very good eye opener.
Oh, I'd absolutely love to do it just to experience it. It looks like a hell of a time, and you know
it is. And I just never thought I'd get like into it. I'm just more do it because my partner likes it. But then I realized like it's crazy. Like the adrenaline rush with that. Also, obviously, I'm an adrenaline junkie, so it's crazy. It's awesome. It's obviously everything's better with your own dog, but it's crazy. It's awesome. Give it a go.
Yeah, I'm definitely keen to just tag along and see how it all goes down. Work out what the dog and the people relations are like, and what type of roles everyone does, and
I hope for our sake that it sticks around, because I'm scared with how our government's going down here. You know, I think I don't. Is it confirmed our duck hunting banned?
Yeah, it's.
I think it's confirmed, isn't it?
I don't think it's confirmed yet.
Oh, it's not. Well, it doesn't look good, does it?
It doesn't look good. And then with GMA just sending out an email the other day for license renewals saying,
yeah, and everyone's like, what? Like, what the? Oh, don't get into that. Let's get into politics. I hate politics, but it's just you got to take every day. Like, you don't know how long this is all going to go for, do you?
That's it. I absolutely hate politics too. I hate politicians, but it's a conversation I've been having to have on the podcast.
You have to.
Of late,
unfortunately.
With, duck hunting in Victoria, bow hunting in South Australia, duck hunting in South Australia.
Yeah, you copped it with your bows, didn't you?
Yeah, they're trying to ban bow hunting, unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh God, that will ruin you. You will be heartbroken. Oh my goodness.
100%. That's
you have to go grab a rifle.
I've got a couple.
Yeah, I know, but you ate it.
That's something we haven't seen you get out and do yet. I know you're a horrible shot, but you need to get out.
No chance. I remember going to yours, you taught me, and I'm like, this isn't for me. No, it's not cool.
So much for an adrenaline junkie and putting down the bow and not picking it up.
One day. Probably not. I'm just saying one day to keep you happy, but no, I won't. I'll stick to rifles.
So, jumping on the political side of stuff a little bit, how do you see the public views on hunting?
Obviously, I've just been in the deep of the worst of it, so I always see the negative side for everyone who pops on social media. So, it's weird when you have like good people that are anti it. You can get your point across if they're willing to listen, but you kind of learn who you can just don't have that argument with, and don't have you're wasting your time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%.
I think when people see, like, I think the main thing you got to like also do is like when we shoot a deer and we eat it, like I always put up a story like of us eating the venison and stuff, so people can see that like we're making use of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and nothing goes to waste. And just like staying positive, don't make yourself look like an idiot online as well, because you don't want to go to their level. Just stay respectful and just like, you can have a laugh at the people and just don't go to their level.
What about off of social media when you meet people and, they're like, oh, what are you up to this weekend? And you're like, oh, I'm going out hunting. How does that normally get taken, and how do you explain it?
More the fact I'm just like, well, everyone knows I have dogs, so they realise that like, they're crazy dogs that we need to keep occupied. But people, I find that because obviously I'm in Melbourne, people don't understand it. But like, for example, we'll say Dad's work. All the workers there, a lot of them are vegan. And all of them, actually, I'm going to say most of them. And they were like, how do you do this? Like, it just doesn't make sense how you can like kill something. And I'm just like, well, even the people that eat meat are saying that, yeah? And you're like, well, you buy your meat. Like, you don't know what chemicals or whatever. They're killing that animal as well, but we're killing it quickly using every part of that. And we know it's like practically organic because it's cut like it's straight out of the bush. You know what I mean? So it's like, I hate having that conversation because these people are like buying meat and you're like, you buy meat. Like, you buy meat. So don't have a go at me. And obviously with the pest situation, like with the foxes especially, how can you kill such a cute animal? They're so cute. And you just like, they kill like all of the farmers around here because it's so condensed. They have like chickens or ducks or whatever they have, and they're all just getting eaten from these foxes, or lambs or anything. You're like, that's their living, and these animals are ruining it. And like, what are you supposed to just let them do that? Like, I just hate the conversations that like when they don't understand. But I think when you stay calm and you get your points across, they do listen, and then they don't ask you ever again. And you're like, oh, cool. Well, that must have worked.
Have you ever changed any of these vegans' minds in person to try some venison or some of the fresh seafood you've caught?
Yeah, one of the blokes at work is a vegan, and I told him I think it was whiting. And I said, please just cook this. It is so fresh and beautiful. And he ate it, and he did. He promised me. He sent me a video, and he was like, it was delicious. So now he's like, is it pescatarian? What's the one where you eat seafood?
Pescatarian.
But he won't eat. I can't convince him to eat red meat. But that was awesome. Yeah, never.
Yeah.
There's a fair few people that hated seafood, and then they get it this fresh, like same day, take home, eat it, and they adore it. But yeah, it's hard. I find it a lot harder to get people to try venison. That's for sure.
That's crazy. All those soy boy barista types in Melbourne, I tell you.
Oh, don't even. Don't even. They just like, I don't know what they think venison is, but they like just like stick their nose up. I'm like, ugh, yuck, I'm not eating that. You're like, yeah, right.
The one thing that shits me is when people go, oh, I heard that's gamey. Just annoys the fuck out of me.
That's what you hear. No, it's too gamey for me. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, tell me, explain it, and I'll understand. They're like, it's like tastes like roux or something. I'm like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah,
that's
crazy. I don't know. Their loss, I say.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. As long as they don't try and take it away, I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. Spot on.
How would you change the public views on hunting and hunters?
I would just like, it's just like we all look like as murderers and heartless people. I just think that if they see that we're doing it for the environment, conservation, and we use every bit of meat that we're taking, it's very hard to change their mind, but I just think seeing like what we do afterwards with that product or whatever we've taken, even just like culling the wild pigs that are eating all the lambs and stuff, like how much that's helped the farmers. Having farmers like even talk of how much it helps them. Having people come and hunt their properties, I think that's probably another big thing. Just trying to get more of the positive side of it all out, which is hard to do these days. But just keeping positive and, as I said, never stooping low to those people that are against its level, and just sharing, getting more kids and stuff into it, and teaching that younger generation that like it's good and we need to do it. And I think.
What about running into people in your area? Like, do you find some people are okay with fishing and then not okay with hunting? Do you find that?
You know what? I find 99.9% are all fine with fishing.
Yeah.
And then I'd say 10% are fine with hunting. And to me, it confuses me. I don't even look into it because I can't understand. But I really don't understand, because it's exactly the same thing. It's just that one You know what it is, though? It's when you bring guns into it, I feel that changes a lot of people's opinion.
Yeah.
If we were out just shooting bloody fish, that was like, oh, that's horrible. But I think guns is the biggest problem when it comes to hunting and people who don't understand guns' views. People hate guns. A lot of people hate it. My mum didn't let me have a gun, and I had to hide the fact that I had to say the stuff, and it was just, it was so hard trying to convince her that hunting is not bad, and it took me, I reckon, 5 years.
That's insane.
But I just said, I'm in like a healthy, good environment. I'm hunting, I'm outdoors, I'm doing what I love instead of, the typical 18-year-old clubbing or whatever they do when you're 18. Like, it's a better environment for your kids to grow up doing, 100%.
Oh, it definitely is. What about on the shark fishing side of things? Do you cop much hate for that? Because you see in the media.
Shit, yeah. When we're shark fishing off the surf, all those sharks go back, yeah? So, makos are my favourite. We don't go and catch so many that we're harming the bloody population. We'll probably get one a season and we'll eat every fucking bit of it. But another thing is, people just are so catching sharks, but they don't realise a lot of it's also for research. We're tagging those sharks and we're putting them back in the water. So, yeah, a lot of people don't understand the shark fishing. How can you do that? Blah, blah, blah. If we're keeping whatever we're catching, which is sharks, we will eat them. And if we don't, we're releasing them. Yeah. I really like, if I catch a massive pregnant gummy or school shark, I will release it. That's just me. I love fighting them. It's so fun. But if I can see they've got a belly full of pups, my personal choice is that shark will go back in the water. But it doesn't mean you're entitled to take what you want. But there is definitely something about sharks that people, they don't like seeing people catch them, but they're everywhere. You can't really help it, can you?
You just mentioned about the tagging side of stuff for science.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in that, and what information are you getting from the sharks?
So it's I did an episode with Paul Worsling on ice fish, and we caught a few bronzies and we tagged one, and it's just like for the next person, if they tag them, then we can see how much they've grown and where they've gone in their travels. So it's pretty important to do that. It's cool. But this year, we'll be doing a lot more of it because you have to be part of a club, like a fishing club, to be able to get tags. So I've joined our local bass fishing club, game fishing club, and I've ordered a heap of shark tags for this season. So at least we can do some more of that. So you just you tag the shark, you fill out the card, and then you submit it. And if that shark ever gets caught again, they can record it and then send it to the VFA, and then they'll tell you how much it's grown or blah, blah, blah. Where I caught it could be bloody hundreds of kilometres away from where I caught it. So it's really cool and very interesting.
That's awesome. So you've tagged a couple of sharks. Have you caught many tag sharks?
No, never. No. Never caught one. No.
That's crazy. Is it something you want to, it's like a bucket list thing to do, is catch someone else's tag shark?
Oh, it'd be awesome. But even kingfish, or a lot of people tag kingfish too, and marlin, all that kind of stuff. It's weird. It's very hard to catch another one that's tagged. And you'd probably see it 5 times a year pop up that someone's caught a tagged fish.
Yeah, growing up,
cool.
I've seen a fair few mulloway caught down the Coorong tagged. My auntie and Nan caught a few, so I'm just guessing it's
awesome.
Very similar thing there. Yeah, just measurements, weights, and all of those types of things.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's awesome.
But a lot of our fish, like the kingfish, for example, they'll come in summer and they'll come up into our harbours, and then they're leaving. So the chances of them getting caught bloody ages away is so high, because they'll come back the following year, but they've got that whole other year to get the rest of the year to get caught somewhere else. So it's pretty cool.
No, that'd be awesome to see that data. That's for sure. especially if you caught a tagged fish and finding out how long ago it was caught and how much it's grown.
It'd be so exciting. Yeah.
So, finally, what is hunting and fishing to you?
It's just like meeting really cool people with a similar interest, of amazing community, something to like, you know, get rid of that anxiety on land and just getting away from all the dramas. But I just think the main thing I want to take out of all of this is that we just need to like get our younger generation on board. I think just growing children up, just like my best friend, you and yourself, just like teaching them like our ways, and then even if it's just them just simply convincing their friends at school it's cool or whatever, and anything like that. I think that's just our main way to like go about all of this and getting more people on our side and not just have a dying hobby that's just gonna, you know, we just need to keep fighting for our rights and our passion, and keep getting people on board and just stay cool and don't, you know, stoop to their levels. But yeah, I think that's the main thing.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree with the getting kids on board. You know,
100%.
Like I said earlier to you, like Ollie yesterday, we went squidding and he was super excited to go to childcare and tell the educators.
Exactly, and then what happens is they're like, "Can I go squid fishing?" And they're like, "Oh, what? What's this?" And then they just annoy their parents until they make them go squid fishing. And then look, there's more people that you've just got involved. So
the funniest,
it's so important.
Funniest thing, like he'd be going to childcare. Oh, what did you do on the weekend? Oh, I went hunting deer with Dad. And,
I love that. See how good that is.
And then the other couple months ago, one of the podcast guests, one of my mates, Mitch, gave me some camel meat. So we cooked that up for dinner, and he's absolutely smashed it. Ate every little bit, and he's gone to childcare the next day, and he's telling everyone, "I had camel for dinner last night." And you could kind of guess that the educators would have been like, "Yeah, sure you did, mate. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no worries."
And
mate.
then I picked him up, and he's like, "Dad, we had camel for dinner last night, didn't we?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we did, mate." And the educator goes, "Oh, he was telling the truth." I'm like, "Yeah, I had a mate that hunted a camel and gave me some meat." And they're like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Guess what, Ollie? I bought some crocodile burger tonight for us to eat." And then he was absolutely like stoked to have it. And he's like, "Yeah, I've gone home eating crocodile." And the carer's like,
little weapon.
Jesus,
yeah, right.
You know, you're 3 and you're more experimental in the stuff that you've eaten than I am.
100%. What a weapon. I love that. That's so good. But we need more like kids like that, 100%.
That's it. Well, I want to thank you for coming on and taking some time out of your day fishing.
No worries. Yeah, the wind's like, honestly, like as I'm talking, I'm like, holy shit, we should go in because the wind's picked up pretty badly.
Yeah,
you can hear it now.
Yeah, I can hear it now. So I'll let you go, but I thank you for coming on.
Thanks so much. It was so great to talk to you again.
Likewise.
We'll have to catch up when you're down.
Yes, 100%.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for having me. We'll talk soon.
Thank you too. Catch up. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Hunting Connection Podcast. We hope you've enjoyed our discussions and gained valuable insights into the world of hunting, fishing, and the outdoors. To stay connected with us and never miss out on an update, please be sure to follow us on social media, all at Hunting Connection Podcast. We appreciate your support and would love for you to share the podcast with your friends and family. Don't forget to tag us in your hunting photos on social media and let us know about your experiences. Your feedback is invaluable to us, so please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Together, we continue growing and delivering more captivating episodes for all hunting enthusiasts. Stay connected, stay informed, and keep pursuing your passion for the hunt. Until next time, happy hunting.